we're back. Now, your mother, she's the invented repressed memory. I mean, she's a therapist. I know you're not thrilled by therapy because...
Well, my mother, her name is Linda, and we're slightly estranged. She had a lot of other kids who all did well, 5.
Not with the psychopath?
No, not with psycho. No, it wasn't.
Where is she? She's in
Oregon, which she owns, you know.
And she's a psychotherapist?
I think so. She was on the cover of Newsweek one time, though. She talked, there was a woman named Catherine Ann Powers who robbed a bank or something, drove the car to rob a bank in Boston. She was in the Black Panthers, maybe?
Yeah.
All right, so my mother, and she was a cook, and she was living in Eugene, and she's a lesbian, and she was like sort of happy with her life, and my mother was her shrink, and my mother talked her into embracing her real self and turning herself in for this crime that she'd committed 30 years ago. And so she did, and it was, you know, maybe a slow week, but it was huge news. And so my mother, you can see my mother on the cover, sort of walking her into, you know, in a sort of Laura Ashley dress, walking her into the arms of the law. And then the other thing that my mother kind of did is, well, she was adopted, so she sort of, since we're basically estranged, she sort of doesn't like it when people find out that I'm her daughter because I'm so up that it sort of with her business, which is, you know, like being very sane. And and she was adopted, and she kept from me, you know, any information about who I'm related to, which I've only just discovered. My matrilineage is like shocking. I mean, there's a huge, you know, after 30 you find out, like, A, you're Jewish, I'm Jewish, on her side. Yeah, I'm Jewish, and my grandfather was a publicist, a very short publicist, a short Jewish publicist.
There's no other kind.
Right, and my great-grandfather was a not very good screenwriter who did one movie that Graham Greene called, I read the review, remember Graham Greene, great sort of, right, the worst movie ever made, called Last Train to Madrid, which he did with my great-grandmother.
Yeah, but you said there was another,
He did China Seas with Jean Harlow and Clark Gable. He did a really good movie. He liked things about horrors, things about booze. His name was Paul Fox, and his brother was Douglas Fairbanks. So that's my great uncle.
So you're real royalty, R-E-A-L.
I am real, yeah, I'm real United Artists royalty.
So you can start meeting with the group that we meet in a basement, all of us.
There's no marriages involved. So since there's no marriages involved, there's no male inheritance of these names. So there's no, it's matrilineage, not patrilineage, and therefore, this is why I wanted to call the present project that I'm doing Bastard, because it's, not to be obnoxious or anything, the word bastard is just a brilliant word. I come on my mother's side from true bastard stock of just like one night stand, followed by one night stand, followed by one night stand.
So your mother is a product of a one night stand?
Yeah, my mother's a bastard.
You are?
I'm basically a bastard. The marriage was annulled, yeah. And then Paula was a bastard. So, you know, I mean...
Wait, Paula was... So
no, Paula got the name. So Paula was the result of a marriage, I guess. I think there was a marriage involved.
Yeah, that was a very unusual time to be a bastard, I think.
What's it like to have the name? What if I had come into this world as, you know, but still you get the name. It's like, you know, your mom and dad are famous and you get this name, and, you know, maybe I could have gotten into Stella Adler's class, but again, it's like, you know, the speed shooting business, I would never really... I might have grown up too upper middle class or too middle class to even...
To be rock.
So to be rock, to have found out about rock
and that's
punk
a huge part of who you are.
It's an important and relevant part. But Carrie, when I was 4, I was staring at the back of the Bob Dylan Bringing It All Back home cover going, I'm going to do that. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't some like thing
And how was your mother about all that? Why are you estranged from your mother?
Because she was terrible about it. She just really, I wish she had just been a little more of a stage mom. I just wanted to come... When Tatum O'Neal won that Oscar, I wanted one thing. I wanted to go to Interlochen, or I wanted to go to the one school in Pasadena, the acting school. Then I went and got the brochures. I wanted to get the hell out of that house. And I mean, I'm talking like 5, 6, 7. I was ready to leave. And my mother was so much more involved in psychiatry and psychology and sending me to you know, with the Bataka bats and the, you know, the crazy bad therapist and the primal scream and the Rolfing and all this crap. And it was like, just let me go act and learn music and sort of leave me alone.
I was just so impressed with your wrestling moves, you know?
Yeah, you're impressed with something. You had a huge on national television.
Oh, man.
Yes, you did.
Come on. I had it taped down and everything. Hope I didn't offend you.
I'm here, aren't I?
Are you like anybody? It doesn't sound like you would.
I think I got from Psycho Dad, I got a lot of nerve from him. And my mother actually said that. And I think from her, I think she's intelligent. I think I'm smarter than both of them. But, you know, I'm used to being a scrapper. And I'm used to being very tough. And I'm used to, you know, I'm used to having to fight to get what I want. And I'm also used to defeating it sometimes and getting too bored to get what I want. And do you know what I mean? And just walking away because I just couldn't care less. And out here sometimes with the acting stuff, see with the Rock, it's manifest destiny. You can really create, you know, it's me, it's six strings. I'm creating my own world. I'm straightening my Windsor knot.
All right, so
I'm doing a sort of new wave thing.
this is what I was saying. I was saying this about.
No. I want to point out that the Madonna kilt thing, me and Madonna share a stylist. This has been going on for 2 years, the sharing the stylist business. It's the kilt, and so the kilt.
So you got the kilt from like the husband or something?
No, the kilt, no, I think, yeah, she has a right to the kilt because she married a Scot, and yet I felt like I was going to bring back the kilt first, and so, you know,
There's a whole war
sharing a
going
stylist.
on.
I lost some stylists, though, to Britney Spears, but
The kilt wars.
I grew up with those guys that are Britney guys now, and they would always try and dress me like crazy like that, and I just didn't want to do it, so they have the greatest job, because Britney's like, they do their great Britney imitation, like, y'all are weird, all right, I'll do it. And just, like anything, cover her with latex, you know, anything, she'll do it. She's game.
I'm really glad that I don't have to do a lot of Britney, though, because Billy's not that into Britney.
No, Francis thinks Britney's creepy.
They go with these people very quickly.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about guys, though, because...
All right. I mean, I've been sort of not the slut I used to be in the last
No, I
few
know.
years. But I miss it. You know, I occasionally take a break and go off and check in with my slatterness just to make sure it's still there.
To slut it up?
Slut, get my mojo working. I mean,
I have no
you with Ben
mojo.
Affleck here at this house where I wasn't canoodling him. You
That was a lapse, then, if that
It
really
was
happened.
him lap dancing is what it was in that
It
lap.
was.
It was him in that room on top of you, like completely seducing you. Objective.
Well, but I mean, that's what he
brilliant.
does.
But he was by the bar, and you couldn't get to him. And I mean, he's sort of like, and what he told me that night, though, I remember, was that he had done an after-school special. And I said, who was the most embarrassing person you ever lost a part to?
That's
Corey
a good
Haim,
question.
License to Drive, which I thought was great. I lost a part to Buffy, and it was a movie I really wanted.
Who's Buffy?
Buffy,
that girl.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. I lost a part to
I like that girl, though.
Okay, fine, but I
Not
lost
more
a part
than
to her
you, but...
of a movie that I really liked. So sometimes when
acting
you're-
is a much more
well, the
passive.
fight and the thing with the male directors, which is why, you know, I so like there's that certain stripe of male director that wants to have the whole psychic sexual relationship with you, which I mean, I admire the starlets and the ingenues that can go through 5 movies a year pretending to have like daddy sex relationships with each of these guys, but I'm too tired for it. It's like, if you're gonna do if you want from me what you get from Russell Crowe, then give me the same amount of birth. That's all. Do you know what I mean? And I'll deliver. And you know, and I think that I have.
But now, when did you start?
And by that I mean, you give me the same room you're going to give Russell Crowe.
They never. It's just not the same business for women as it is for men.
Well then, you know what I mean?
But you're dating now, right? You still. I completely not.
I'm in a relationship that's like a sweater. It just doesn't. I just love him to death, and then I can't stand him, but I just kind of don't get out of it.
What's your type?
Always the same.
What?
Always the same. And then that was like the weird Judy Davis movie. Frail.
You like frail guys?
Frail, yeah.
Was Ed Norton frail?
Edward? You can't call him Ed. He goes nuts.
Ed.
Yeah.
Eddie?
I mean, he was thin, and he wore sort of a Colden Caulfield coat, and is that it? Holden Caulfield? Sorry, that was my latent dyslexia kicking in. And he sort of felt like a Salinger character a bit at that moment, and he was still a boy. He wasn't quite a man yet.
So you like boy
And he had
men.
thin wrists, and he had like thin ankles.
What's good about that? That's just your type, though.
Hamlet. I think ever since I used to go to the Ashland Shakespeare Festival every summer, and I'd go to Shakespeare camp. And I got a very early feeling, and this kind of was around the same time I wanted to be Bob Dylan. But if you remember the cover of Bringing It All Back Home, it was Sally Grossman on a chaise lounge and Bob Dylan. I wanted to be both of them. And I wanted to be blonde. So, you know, it was like sort of
You
confusing.
consider yourself androgynous at all?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. But I do like sort of deflower, you know, like taking, you know.
Dominating them?
No, teaching them that.
You want them to apprentice
I
themselves?
want, yeah. You know this. When you take them and you teach them all the dark stuff, you teach them all, you educate the hell out of them, and then you see your product out in the world. And then, you know, you see your product out in the form of a song, in a line in a movie, and it's just fun. It's sort of a side hobby.
I apprenticed myself to Paul.